Here's pre-calc. This is problem number 6-38. So we have a piecewise function. It looks like the top one's a parabola, like the parent function, and the bottom one, that's just a linear function. And so the first thing letter A wants you to do is graph it. So mine is graphed in purple, and I just since I already knew how the parent function looks, I just used these 3 points and graphed that part. Notice that I'm graphing it for x's in between -2 and 1, so I don't show the rest of the graph. And then when x is in between 1 and 4, it's a linear graph, so I went ahead and rewrote that as y equals -x plus 2, but I was careful to only graph the part of it that's in between 1 and -4, so that's my purple graph. And then it asked, letter B asked me for the range, so I said the range was in between -2 and +4. So remember, range is the y values, and it asked for the zeros, and so I just looked at my graph and saw that it had x-intercepts at 0 and 2. So then letter C says it wants you to graph f of x minus 1, or h of x, which equals f of x minus 1. So I recognize that is a horizontal shift to the right, because if you remember h and k. So I just drew, basically I just moved each of my points just one to the right and drew the pink graph. And that's the graph of h of x. It's just f of x shifted one to the right. And then it asked me to draw, or to make the equation. So I know that all I have to do is replace every x I see with the x minus 1. So I came up with x minus 1 squared for the parabola, and then I came up with 2 minus x minus 1 for the linear part, but I distributed my negative, and that ended up giving me 3 minus x after it's all simplified. But then I also had to shift the domain restriction to the right by 1. So this parabola started at -2. Now I've shifted to the right by 1, so it's going to start at -1, and the parabola ended at 1, but now it ends at 2. So I just shifted these domain restrictions to the right by 1. So basically just adding 1, like 1 plus 1 is 2, and 4 plus 1 is 5. So there's that. And then I think the last thing it asked you to do was letter E. It wanted to know what's the range of the new function, the shifted function, but the range is going to still be the same because it was just shifted to the right. It was not shifted up or down. So the range is the same, but the zeros did get shifted. The intercepts were shifted by 1. So I got x is, actually this should be x is 1, letter E. X is 1 and x is 3. I forgot to shift them. And that's it.